mean, Europe is reintroducing restrictions for travelers. To what extent is it likely to derail the season altogether, though?
Yes, Yusuf, really, that is the question mark, and we saw that reflected in markets yesterday. That big uncertainty over the summer season that really whiplashed travel stocks in Europe. Now, overall, when you look at the picture right now, we are seeing, as you say, more restrictions coming to play. We've seen them from Portugal and we've seen them from Spain, which will now ask for a negative PCR test for travelers that are entering the country. Now, this is becoming effective today, and it's a change from the previous rules, which did say if cases are low from a country, then you don't have to take a PCR test. Now, there's a number of things that are coming into play here. One, of course, is that this is a reminder of the disastrous summer season that we had last year. You know, when you start changing the rules, when you start changing the legislation, it makes it very difficult for people to actually know what's going on. And if you don't know what's going on, you don't want to book that flight. And then secondly, it's the timing of this thing. You know, restrictions coming into play, Yusuf, just 2 days before the digital pass, the COVID passport, as it's known, is set to come into effect in Europe. That was supposed to be the big debut for the summer season. It was supposed to be the start for the summer holiday, but now it's really marred by a lot of questions as to just how much of a summer season we could have.
I suppose also another confusion on this front could just be discrepancies between what different countries are saying for these travel rules. Does Europe sound united on these measures?
Yes, and you know, Danny, that's a very good point, because overall, the COVID passport, what it does is that it's supposed to standardize some of the rules. You know, it's supposed to streamline legislation across the European Union so it works the same for every country. Now, in principle, that is still going to be the case when it becomes active on July 1st. But if you ask different countries in Europe, you will see they have a different approach to this Delta variant and this potential new wave. The Germans are being very, very careful. You know, they don't want to see the virus tick up in September. Of course, the timing is not a surprise. They have an election in September, and the CDU is really focused on keeping that virus in check. When you speak to some of the southern European countries, what they argue is that this summer should be different from the previous summer. We do have a vaccine. The elderly population in Europe is vaccinated, and overall, you have to learn how to live with this virus until you get to herd immunity. So you are seeing, to some extent, some of that political tension really kick in.
Right, and I'm sure some of the disappointment might come from you and Yusuf being unable to come here to the UK to watch Spain and Switzerland play each other in the final of the Euros, right, guys? Is that what we're going to see? Is that Spain beat Switzerland?
Switzerland's going to win. I'm ready here. I've got my jersey. You know, I'm not sure about Maria. Do you have yours?
Yusuf, I mean, poor you. Okay, we'll see you Friday.
See you on the pitch.